Hey, it's me, Katie. Today I'm going to talk about what you should disclose to your buyers about your property. Okay, before I begin, I want to make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. If you are watching this right now, please don't miss another one. Go down there, like and subscribe, and make sure you comment. I would love to hear what you guys think. Let's talk about what you need to disclose to potential buyers on your property when you're going to sell your home. I'm going to tell you a story. This is kind of a sad story, very irritating story. Years ago, I was sued. Yes, I was sued as a real estate agent. It was horrible. I didn't know anybody that had been sued before. I had just changed brokers, and so I did not actually have my old broker helping me fight this charge. So this is what I was sued for. I took a listing on a house, and during the listing period, there was a leak in the attic from a furnace that was sitting up top in the attic. The leak in the attic came down through the ceiling and went down the wall. Now, the sellers knew about this, that there was a leak, because obviously it was very clear. So they actually filed an insurance claim, and they had everything remediated. They had everything cleaned up, and they had the furnace replaced in the attic. So therefore, when we were filling out the property disclosures, I knew that they had a problem, but it had been repaired. It had been fixed. And technically, you do not need to disclose something if it has been fixed. Now, they had an insurance claim filed on this situation, so this was not something that was hidden. And then when the buyers did their inspection, they negotiated a credit for the roof, which needed to be replaced. And so obviously, the sellers were acknowledging that the roof needed to be replaced, and here was the credit. So the following year, the buyers ended up having ice dams. Now, if you're in Illinois or you're in the north, you know what an ice dam is. It's if you don't clean out your gutters and you get a lot of leaves in them. And what will happen is when you get a lot of snow, the snow will end up melting where the roof is if the roof is not replaced, which these buyers did not use that credit to replace the roof. So what ended up happening is the water melted under the snow, and then it goes down into the house because there is ice over the gutter. So there's no place for the water to go. And what happened is, because these buyers did not replace their roof and they did not clean out their gutters, they had ice dams all around the outside of the house. Obviously, this had nothing to do with the furnace in the attic that was replaced. However, the buyers sued me. They still sued me because they said I hid a defect. Clearly, that had nothing to do with it. One with the other, nothing to do with it. However, it didn't matter. They effectively were able to sue me and take me to court. This took 2 years. Now, luckily, my husband is a real estate attorney and a litigator. So luckily, I was able to have him defend me. And if I had hired another attorney, I would have been out $50,000. At least. So the reality is that I didn't do anything wrong, the sellers didn't do anything wrong, but the buyers sued me anyway. So now you're saying, wow, Katie, that's crazy, but what does that have to do with what you should disclose? Because you didn't have to disclose that anyway. What I'm doing is I'm giving you the reality is whether or not you think that you should or shouldn't disclose it, your buyers might sue you for something. So that does happen. So when you are filling out that property disclosure, I want to make sure that you are really thinking about, are there any issues that possibly could come up in the future, even though you have fixed something that you might want to disclose. So now, should my sellers have disclosed that they replaced the furnace in the attic? Probably not. That was not something that I would even recommend now to do. However, if there was something like maybe more of a foundational issue, or maybe there was recent water in the basement, I probably would put that into the bottom of the disclosure that says, yes, we did have an issue that we have fixed. So when you fill out the property disclosure, you need to look at it and you need to say whether or not something is true or not. And even if you fixed it, you would say, correct, I have no water in the basement. However, if you just fixed something that happened like maybe a month ago because there was a crack and then you filled it and now you can say we have no water in the basement, well, the issue is that you probably haven't been in the house long enough to know whether or not that crack has been filled in enough. So that is one reason why I might say that you might want to disclose something like that. The idea is that you do not want to end up looking like you were hiding something. So if you are constantly getting a drip into the basement and then you go and you fix it one time and then you say, oh, all done. Yeah, if you don't know that you've truly fixed it, it's better to err on the side of being overly cautious. And you want to make sure that you put that in there. Now, when you're going through your property disclosure, you need to be honest, because even if you have an issue with the house, it's okay. A house can still sell. So let's pretend that you have an an issue with some of your windows and they're rotted at the base, it's better to put that into your disclosure right out of the gate. So when the buyers write their offer, they are going to see that before they present their offer. So when they come back at the inspection, they're not going to say, well, we didn't know you had all these windows that were rotted. Oh no, you did, because I put that into the disclosure. So just because there's something that's wrong with the house does not mean that you shouldn't put it on the disclosure. Sometimes it's just better to put it out there and then let the buyers know. Then what they'll do is they'll offer you accordingly. So it's really important that when you are filling out your property disclosure that you act in good faith and you are transparent and you err on the side of giving them a little more information than maybe you should, because you want to be open. Because remember my story. I was sued, and what happened? I didn't tell you how it ends. So what happened is that I was sued. We did go to court. We did take depositions. We did go to the judge. We had an arbitration, which I won. I won the arbitration. And then they continued on the path until we finally got to the judge, who finally dismissed it. So that's what I'm telling you, is even though I did nothing wrong, even though the sellers did nothing wrong, I was still sued. Okay, so now I brought you into my whole personal life about being sued, and it was super traumatic, and it was a very difficult thing for me and my husband to go through all of that. And I don't want the same thing to happen to you. It is very traumatic. I want you to make sure that when you're filling out that property disclosure, you're being honest, you're being transparent, because in the end, it may not matter. Okay, if this has been good for you, and if you're actually watching to the end, then that means you need to like and subscribe to my channel, because obviously I kept your attention through the whole video. So make sure you go like and subscribe, make a comment, reach out to me if you ever have any questions about real estate. I want to be your real estate consultant for life. So thanks for watching. And as I always say, if you know, you know. And this one, definitely make sure you know.